Our team of best officials for this test. Number 10 is Mamelodi Sundowns and Beauties. Our referee is Chico Mamelodi all the way from Zimbabwe. Our first assistant is David Mango, also from Zimbabwe. Second assistant, Roman Ogani from Mozambique. And our fourth official is Johannes Teresa Soko from Lesotho. This is the CAF Women's Champions League for SundownsLadiesFC 2025.
A very, very warm welcome to you all over the part of South Africa. We wish you a fantastic Tuesday afternoon as we bring to you the CAF Women's Champions League. This is the COSAFA Qualifiers 2025, the 5th edition, where we are looking for one winner to represent COSAFA at the CAF Women's Champions League that will be announced a bit later, the venue and the date. The teams making their way out to the park, dressed all bright and beautiful. It is Mamelodi Sundowns that host Beauties. This is a team from Namibia that are making their debut in this tournament. Mamelodi Sundowns has been ever present in every single edition bar 2024, as they were the defending champions, in which UWC took their place. And because they were defending champions, South Africa, or COSAFA, had two teams representing the region out at the Champions League. Here we are with the team that is to beat in Mamelodi Sundowns. Much experience on display, quality players on display, and not to be outdone is the debutants as well, the Beauties. They come into this match after demolishing Ntopwa of Malawi by 3-0. They fell to Zesco by 3-0. Let's have a look at the lineup of Mamelodi Sundowns. Boitumelo Rabale keeps her place. Bambanani Mbane in defense. Tabiseng Mejia makes a rare start. Kolosa Biane in the middle of the park. And Lebogang Ramalepe ever present in the right back position. They line up with a 4-3-3 formation. Down at the bottom is Kolosa Biana, the pitbull who's expected to really serve as a protector of the back four. Our officials, it is Chipo Mayimbo of Zimbabwe, Claro Samango of Zimbabwe, Rhoda Montlane of Mozambique, and Deboheleng Sekoto of Lesotho. An abundance of experience when you look at the officials that are officiating in this particular match, and the two captains, it is Ramalepe as well as Melissa Matthews that are out to lead their teams. And then we do have an opportunity to get a bird's eye view of everything. And in VAR, it is Enes Gumbo of Malawi. She's supported by Lumbidzai Musawa of Zambia, the 29-year-old who finds herself with the 5th tournament. This is the lineup for Beauties. Melissa Matthews, the captain, she remains in goal and has been ever present. Toli Konjele Amokoto, the centre-back who does exceptionally well. You're looking at Rita Williams, the 47-year-old who comes in with an abundance of experience. Nancy Libang as well as Ndapewa. Those are the lineups. You also are looking at a very straightforward balanced side in a 4-4-2. Looking at the formations, looking at the coaches, it's a job that has been done. This is the introduction of Leonard Kiti Nambande, who has really brought this team to greater heights of late, and also has brought a young team that is not just to add the numbers, but a team that is out here hoping that they could make a major upset. But they are licking their wounds. They have been beaten 3-0 by Zesco United. They came back bouncing and hammering 3 goals. But we do introduce a Bafana international legend in Godfrey Zolile Sapula. This man, a midfield maestro in his playing days. His DNA has been transferred to the Mamelodi Sundowns team, a team that enjoys the ball possession, a team that knocks the ball about, that is in no hurry to get to the goal mouth. Very businesslike. They dominated in the previous match as they won 1-0 to Zescondola Girls. Many people will ask, why 1-0 in a 70% dominance of possession? We are all systems go at the A.W. Miller Stadium. It is UJ. UJ, not Soweto, but UJ in Auckland Park. It is Sundowns in the yellow and blue, attacking the goal from the right to the left of your screen. We have about 16 kilometers wind speed that is so welcome by the officials. You can see the officials' jersey there just blowing away to calm the nerves, to calm the players, and to allow a fluidity that we have become accustomed to. Wherever you are, this is the moment of women's football, an important date on the calendar as the ball is delivered very quickly, and the first indication of what is in store as that ball just ricochets off the top of the woodwork. Goes out for a throw in on the far side as Asanda Khadebe was the player that took an attempt, a cross-come strike that ricocheted off the woodwork. Just spotting one change from the previous lineup, a 1-0 win against Zescondola girls. Melinda Khadiete is relegated to the bench and her place is taken by Intabiseng Majia. Ball in the box. Nonhlanhla Mthandi is forced out and a free kick is given to the Beauties. And when we look at the side of the Beauties, they come in unchanged from the previous match in which they won 3-0. Have a look at the free kick that is given to Beauties, and questions been asked of the referee that this is a shoulder charge, there's nothing wrong with that, why give a free kick? But the referee, that is Chipo Maibo Mercy, will tell you that it's me being in charge, and I did spot a bit of discomfort. Asanda playing the 1-2 with Tabiseng Majia on the run, and continued her run is Asanda, who went down and grimacing in pain, just holding that ankle and holding it rather tightly, but gives a encouraging signal to the bench that all is well. Well, it was a strong challenge by Kaijavi, making sure that Mamelodi Sundowns, who play pretty much an expansive game, using the width, using the pace, they know all too well not to allow those crosses to come in. They have dangerous players that will make their way into the box. Around the ball is Rabale, who steps over the ball but headed away, and that is almost as far as the big box, but it falls for the Pitbull, Colosa Piana, World Cup experience, former UWC player, but here she is sharing the ball with Asanda. Tabiseng Majia was lurking, and a touch from Kaijavi. Kaijavi Unomdjamo is going to have a terrible time on the left-hand side of Mamelodi Sundowns. They do have that pace of Asanda and a combination with Majia that will trouble any defense on any given day. Majia on the ball, former Richmond United player, delivers the ball into the box, and it was the Queen, Boitumelo Rabale. She is a Lesotho international playing for Mamelodi Sundowns. We also do have a Botswana international playing for Mamelodi Sundowns, and that is in the form of Lifilwe Tolagele. She's been celebrated in Lesotho. That is Boitumelo. But look at that skill. Too nice. Lovely ball, just forced away as Nokola Tsani just takes the eye off the ball momentarily and loses out to Fiola Fillet. Showed too much of the ball, and going right through is young Nokola Tsani. Abundance of experience has come through the conveyor belt in the youth structures of Banyana from under 17 to under 20 to the senior team, and that is where she currently is. Ball into the box to no man's land, and that will be watched all the way by Andile Dlamini. The signals are quite encouraging from the players. There is no time to feel inferior for Beauties of Namibia. Well, Group A clash is what it's all about. We've had 29 goals that have been scored thus far. In the earlier match that was of Group A, Zescondola girls up against Ntopwa of Malawi. That one ending in one of the highest scoring matches thus far in the tournament. That was 8 goals. 5-3 was the final score. What an avalanche of goals from Zesco Ndola Girls, who find themselves second in the group, just behind Mamelodi Sundowns, and hoping that they will get one of the spots, which is the second best finisher in the group. Knox trying to keep that ball in play, but runs out of room. It just easily rolls over for a goal kick. Her sister, who's having a fantastic day, a fantastic season in Mexico, is doing exceptionally well. That's Sinokolo, banging in some goals and also making sure that she's in the starting 11 almost in every match. Well, for the young Nokolo, she has had a stint in France, has also tried her luck in Saudi Arabia and decided, home sweet home is where I belong, and found her way to Mamelodi Sundowns and has settled in nicely, occupying the space on the right-hand side. Ball in, mistake that was made in that challenge.
We pick up!
Free kick it is for Mamelodi Sundowns. Some defending to do, about 6 white shirts doing the business. Tolagele just tries to recycle that ball, but instead it goes out for a throw-in. 23 degrees out there for the ladies as the sun sets. Definitely brings with it a bit of calm, and also the ability for the players to stretch themselves and give a lot more than when the temperatures are sky high. We've also had to see some water breaks every now and then. That ball goes out. Oh, well done, as it's kept in play, and then another long hopeful ball that finds Bambanani Mbane instead. 7 minutes on the clock. Disetso Makubela makes her way back into the side. She's just played one match, and that was the previous match against Zesco. And goalkeeper called upon. That ball with the rush of blood to the head. Just goes over the bar. Apologies. Apologies given to her teammates. She knows that should have done better. But let's have a look at this ball yet again from Bane. Try to play it over the top as it finds Tolagele. Keeper was very quick to come out of the box to just assist her defense, but pretty close offside, I must add. Lena Nampala using a goalkeeper is Mamelodi Sundowns, intended for Asanda. Instead it picked up very lanky players out in the front for Beauties FC, playing with a bit of caution. 4 players across the field: Alwido, Amukoto, Williams and Hikwam. Those are the players that are operating in the midfield. And when you look at the back 4, led by Katutwa and Kariri, mistake being made. Sundowns recover with calm and finesse, come out of jail as Rabale, a no-look pass looking for Tolagele, finds her with ease. The pace is on, the race is on, a decent cross is expected, nobody in the box, and easy pickings for Beauties. Goes out for a corner. Mamelodi Sundowns defensively were asked the questions in that moment, but good cover defense and good communication got them out of a sticky situation. It is a corner for Sundowns. Kaijavi, Kairiri, Katutwa, Chituka, ball in. Ball still bobbling in the air. Laid back, it's Knox, but leaning a little too much into that ball as it started rising from the moment it left her foot. Coach just telling her, take it easy, take your time, you had enough of that. So a bit of calm and composure is expected in and around the big box. It's played short by Beauties, inviting trouble. The high press of Mamelodi Sundowns is one that gives concern to the defense of Beauties. A cross expected, cross delivered, keeper comes out, 2 hands. And in that moment, Magia asks, I didn't do anything. What is wrong with the challenge? Well, you'll decide for yourself if you have a look at that in the replay. Magia staying, she's in an offside position in that particular moment, but goes right through, and the goalkeeper got 2 hands to it. 10 minutes gone. Mamelodi Sundowns, no. Beauties, Women's Football Club, no. That is Tabi saying, Magia, in your screen, 10 minutes of 45, done and dusted, no goal yet at the A.W. Miller Stadium. Sundowns have the capabilities of dominating a match by about 80%, but the scoreline does not speak to that, and a very clear match indicating that was won against Zascondola. One of my colleagues, Ray, indicated it was the most dominated 1-0 scoreline game he's ever seen. Dominated by Mamelodi Sundowns. And as we have a look at a player just grimacing in pain, heavily strapped knee. But she'll soldier on as that ball just goes out of touch. Well, this time around, there is no Green Buffaloes of Zambia. There is no Ongos. There's no UWC. And here's an opportunity for Beauties to play that ball back. Wasting a bit of time is the young Nancy Bupilo. Instead of playing it through, questions been asked about an offside, and acres of that. But again, players need to learn to play according to the referee's whistle. But the referee eventually goes up, the referee's flag rather. So we have a look at that ball picked up, but she was in an onside position, split that defense, and perhaps if they have to have a look at that, it's a chance that they should have better used. That will just encourage Coach Leonard Kati, knowing that they can break the lines, they can get the ball behind the Mamelodi Sundowns defend. Rabale picked up by Mtandi. In the process, scraping away, or there's being a casualty en route. Free kick to Beauties. They hail from Namibia. Way off a line is Dlamini. It's played short with Disetso Makubela. Makubela to her right-hand side as Bambanani Mbane. Abundance of experience with the 2 centre-backs. Mbane, balanced defence for Mamelodi Sundowns. Khadebe is available. Coming from deep is Magia. Asanda seems to be struggling with a bit of cramping. She doesn't want any treatment or any help. She doesn't want the stretcher. Well, there is a love-hate relationship between the stretcher and footballers. They don't want to be on that stretcher, but it is there to help them out and make sure that they are taken care of as that ball bounces in a good position for Khadebe. But quickest to the ball is Kaijavi. It's a throw in to Mamelodi Sundowns. Played short, played quick. A Sunday, good delivery. And cut out by Kaijavi. She has been struggling. Seems to be holding a knee. She's probably going to get an indication that she needs to run it off. Melissa Matthews is a Namibian international. Asanda Khadere played it short. Magia whipping it in, looking for a header. Mamelodi Sundowns. Bambanani Bane registers her name on the score sheet. It's the beginning of the floodgates. Bambanani Bane, a defender of note, hailing out in the Eastern Cape, but here she is in Gauteng doing a job. Unmarked criminal defending by Beauties. That little amount of space given to Mbane, she made good use of it, and the keeper was stranded. 1 goal to the goods. Business as usual. Hardly celebrates, understanding the importance of getting over the line. Well, this is Group A, one that they termed the Group of Death. We talk of Zaskondola, we talk of Ntopwa from Marawi, and Beauties of Namibia. They make the full complement of the 4 teams in Group A. In Group B, you've got Gaborone United of Botswana, Young Buffaloes of Eswatini, and Kick for Life, who are the debutants. Ball in! And when one was expecting Tolagele just to open up her body and get a tap in, instead she allows that ball to run across the face of goal. It is an opportunity for Beauties to launch an attack. Have a look at the run. A strong one from Asanda. Delivery there, but to be fair, on Tolagele, that ball was passed behind her. It's Sundowns, who are almost playing a half ground from the center half. Colossa. Oh, delightful ball. Ramalepe. Beauty. And Magia makes a hash of it. Slightly overcooked though from Lebogang Ramalepe. She was at full stretch. We can't fault her for effort. Tabiseng Magia needed to try and run from the side, but that was good positioning by Ramalepe and slightly overcooked. One needed her to come from the left-hand side. She probably could have just had a tap-in. But Tabiseng Magia, who is quite comfortable. Tabiseng Magia quite comfortable operating on the wings rather than central. But in this match, a coach has got her plugged right on top. She is the main striker. She's playing with 3 attacking players. So the goalkeeper, who's being investigated, seems to be a bit uncomfortable. Have a look at this, the corner that was taken. Magia playing it through, looking for anyone with a yellow jersey, responding to the call of Bambanani Mbane. And she made no mistake and ensured Sundowns draw first blood. Well, this is the platform. One takes ordinary and turn it into extraordinary. There's been players from the COSAFA region that have gone and graced the bigger occasion. Just to wish a speedy recovery to Barbara Banda of Zambia, who's been placed on the season-ending injury list with her injury that she suffered in a previous match. We hope that she will be up and about and back into action soon as possible. Bane playing the 1-2 with Rabale. Rabale a little deeper than expected. Disetso Makubela. Asanda Khadere. Ball delivered. Looking for Mandam Tandi. Tolagele on the ball. Playing it back. That's another second ball Offside yet again. Offside by Ntabiseng and co. 20 minutes. Well, that's the moment there, the minute Tolagele touched that ball and then allowed Ntabiseng Magia to come from deep, while the offside was Refilwe Tolagele initially. And there could be a check. Oh, well, there's a stop in play. And communicating with the referee, who says and confirming that indeed the lines was correct to pick up. The officiating has been really helped by the VAR. That scoreline still remains intact. Important for Beauties to keep it quite reasonable. They can pull one back, and here's an opportunity for Tweli Konjele. Leaves that ball behind Amukota. Tisetso Makube uses a goalkeeper who is screaming for the ball and doesn't want to go to sleep. Bearing in mind as the action is mostly poised in the center of the park. And up front, busiest is Mamelodi Sundowns attacking trio of Tolagele Magia and Esane. 21 minutes gone, 0-0. I mean, 1-0 is the scoreline. Ramalepe draws in and asks for support from Bambanani Mbane. Mbane goes to a teammate in Andile Dlamini. Mbane pushing players up and looking for anyone available. Pitbull comes up and responds. Mtandi tries to play Asanda, who's quite conservative on the left-hand side. So throw in for Beauties. Tandi, Ramalepe, Boitumelo rather. She goes down, it's picked up by the Pitbull. That's Kolosa Pihane, Nokolo Klesane, Boyne. And this time the keeper took a time, and the flag does go up. If Mamelodi Sundowns players can just hold their run a little, we could have some decent goals. They find themselves with a lot of pace, but also too anxious to get to the ball. And maybe a couple of bucket runs will help them in the process to beat this offside trap that is played to perfection by the Beauties. Now this time it's Tolagele who is onside, needs to deliver the ball. Mtandi does well to protect it. Ultimately, Asanda, another ball in. Beats everybody, not Ramalepe! Coming from deep, the captain does well and makes sure this time. Lebogang Ramalepe gets onto the score sheet. After 23 minutes, Mamelodi Sundowns are comfortably with a 2-goal cushion. Confirmation of the goal scorer, a captain's goal, and it was played well as Khadebe whipped that ball in delightfully. It missed everybody, but Ramalepe coming from deep, used the left, finished it off with the right. And Beauties find themselves with the back against the wall. 2 goals that have penetrated the defense as Ms. Khadebe is on the ground and receiving treatment. It's been a dominance in the middle of the park for Mamelodi Sundowns, winning the first ball, winning the second ball, managing the spaces between the lines, and great anticipation in that particular moment. But you've got very aggressive wingers who are taking the game to Beauties. Beauties at this moment need to just settle, try and close the lines and protect the spaces that they find, and some hugs and kisses as Mr. Saulus, the father of a Sundowns player, that is Miss Sauls, will get to show you who normally comes in for Lebogang Ramalepe. Well, quite a strong bench that is present for Mamelodi Sundowns. Simone Sauls, father in the stands, hardly misses a game, especially when they're playing at home. Strong, long, hard ball. Looking for young Amukoto, Tweli Konjele. Diseso Makubela, together with Bambanani Mbane and Dlamini, just to name a few, some of those players that were part of the women's WAFCON and finished 4th in a tournament where one expected the defending champions to do a lot more or a lot better than that. Again, one looks at football on in the region and can only but compliment the progress that is being made. COSAFA region had 3 representatives in that WAFCON. Botswana was one of them, Zambia was another, and so was South Africa. Blessed with skill, blessed with talent is Lebogang Ramalepe. And many of you would say, no, 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 no. She needs to pack her bags and go abroad, forgetting that she was once hot property out in Belgium. At Lebogang Ramalepe, Asanda Khadeb, Mtandi, Majia. Well, I've just learned that her name is Spitfire. Well, you don't have to ask why. Throw in. It's very rare that you find a footballer that does not have a nickname. Ball into the box, Rabale misses out. Connection by Ramalepe. The ball goal needs to be a lot quicker than that. Maybe trying to break the momentum. Oh, Desiree Ellis present to witness some of the football being played. Dr. Des, 12 fouls and counting. Goalkeeper leaves that ball for Ndapena Katuta to hack it away. Hopefully get more distance than she does. Ball just goes on the halfway line and helped on ultimately by Kaijavi. But just as quickly as they release the ball, it's picked up by Mamelodi Sundowns and they come back like a wave. There's no overexertion. Knox trying to get into it. She's one of those players gifted with skill and the talent, an activator of note, very creative. But yes, Diseto Makubela. She has Amanda Mtandi to her left. Decides she'll go route 1. Coming from an onside position is Tolagele, but that ball hacked away by Ndapena Katuta. To know the scoreline in favor of the South African team, that is Mamelodi Sundowns. Diseto slightly overcooks that, and the goalkeeper comes off a line. That is Dlamini, tidies up. Diseto Makubel looking for the space, looking for the run. Very disciplined in that defense. Straight back 4. of Katuta Kairiri. Showing some good footwork and coming from the blind side. And Dlamini wins that race. Nampala was the intended recipient of that ball from Amukoto. 30 minutes done and dusted. 2-0 in favor of Sundowns. As mentioned earlier, that the sun has given the ladies a bit of a break as disappears into the clouds. Nontlanhla Mthandi, Boitumelo Rabale, the queen, switching play, looking for Knox. Good touch by Knox. Continuing a run is Knox, but shows too much of the ball. And one's got to give credit to Liana. Oh, Fiola Fillet. Want to play it short, there's Tesana, but gives the indication of this being a high ball. Magia responds with a thumbs up. That is the football language, but it's played short. Boitumelo is available. Quickly plays a return ball to Knox. Try and go down the byline and looking to thread it between the legs of the goalkeeper. Something that is rather difficult, but from a player of Knox's caliber, she'll try at everything. Even if it seems difficult, simpler option would have been just to hook that ball. Magia was lurking, Bane was lurking, but tried to thread it through the legs of the goalkeeper, and Tisetso Makumela was waiting. Another opportunity as Magia misses out on that one, and eventually it is hacked away by Kaijavi, brought back. This is Ramalepe. Liana Nampula tries to keep it in play. Bane is in a hurry to take the throw in, bearing in mind there's no offside on the throw in. Here's Tolagele asking to show me your number, and the players obliging. And eventually Sundowns go all the way back as far as the halfway line, where Tisetso Makubelo and Ramalepe are operating, showing some discipline. Bounce of the ball will be a bit of a problem to deal with, as Utuzuvira is awoken up by the footsteps of Mamelodi Sundowns. Going through the three players, showing you the creativity. And ultimately, another ball that is missed, going straight across the face of goal. It is Knox that will bring it in, and a heavy touch by Mthandi. Ramalepe wins it back, asks Mbane for yet another restart, and Kolosa Biana, who's really a pretty dominant player in the middle of the park, bossing that midfield. Spitfire, Magia, pushed away very easily by Utuzuvira. It's been really closing down Magia on a number of occasions, and does she get herself in trouble for that challenge? The referee is saying, Kamla, Kamla. Let's get the discipline corrected. Yellow card at Utuzivira Kairiri. Yellow card. I'm sure some of you are thinking we make up these names, but no, it is what it is. Some of them are tongue twister. But here's Melissa Matthews, Namibian international, organizing a defense. It's a two-player war, and 5 Mamelodi Sundowns players in the box. Rabale and Knox looking to break the lines, but wasted opportunity. Doesn't look like Rabale was ready to take that. Mthandi forced backwards. Khadebe does well. Sends Rabale back into attack. And that was delightful, but again, coming from an offside position is Boitumelo Rabale. There's a good finisher in Magia. As we can see, Magia's in offside position, taking too long to come back. And Boitumelo Rabale showing some good first touch. And this will allow an opportunity for Beauties to take this game forward. UD Lechinga, Ascent Academy of Malawi, missing from this tournament. So 4 new debutants, Beauties being one of them. Kick for Life of Lesotho is another one of those. And the return of Olympic Di Maroni or of Comoros. They too are debuting in this tournament. But the Golden Oldies, who've been part of this tournament from the inception, is Young Buffaloes of Eswatini dominating women's football. He has a chance, and in the box, it is picked up by Andile Dlamini. Teasing ball. And Coach Sapula is off his bench and giving instructions to the players. He actually wants to finish this tournament without conceding a single goal. First win was a convincing 3-0 against Ntopwa of Malawi. Second game was a 1-0 against Zesco Ndola of Zambia. And here comfortably with 2 goals in the bag. Still plenty more to follow according to his instruction. And here's Rabale. Delightful ball. Good skip by Ntandi, finding Magia. Ntandi cutting through his Ntandi, but running into the wall is the Pitbull Kolosapiane. Free kick to Mamelodi Sundowns. Well, in Group A, we have 4 teams, and the result for the team that finishes bottom in a 4-team Group A will not count towards the calculation that gets a berth into the continental finals. Well, as we say, it is the top side of each pool that advances into the semi-final, alongside the best runner-up from across 3 groups. So yeah, keep an eye for the 4th team in Group A, as the other groups are 3-3, and Group A has got 4 teams. Knox keeps possession. All the way back to the goalkeeper, who's really been on holiday. Still missing a team from the Seychelles, a team from Mauritius. COSAFA consists of 14 regions. That's a delightful defense splitting pass, but you got to give credit to Ndapena. You got to give credit to Ndapena. No wonder she's getting the high fives. She had to be spot on. Focus on the ball, get the ball first. The pace was on, and coming from the side, but getting the full portion of the ball to hack it away, and she was quite comfortable to give a corner, and that will push players up like Mbane, who's already on the score sheet. Oh, it is Asanda Hadebe. Knox is waiting perhaps for the short corner, but Asanda goes route 1, ball delivered in the box. Again, Bane! She comes in one more time unmarked, a brace in this match. Bambanani Bane makes it 3 for Mamelodi Sundowns. Three before the break, and this is really turning out to be a one-sided affair, and this time we get to see a glimpse of a smile. A miss by Rabale, giving the opportunity to Mbane. Had the time, you know, to take on, to keep the ball at her feet, take on a defender, look for the space, and created the opportunity for herself. She's looking for the family in the stands to say, well, this is my day. She's definitely putting her hand up for player of the match, and becomes top scorer today. She's on a brace. We'll get to have a look at the statistics on a number of players that have scored 2 or more goals. Ms. Dlamini, dominance in possession, almost 70% to Sundowns. They're not done yet. There's another 45. Knox forced back, but looking to turn into a defender. Keeper out of position, but spotted very quickly by Fiola Filet. And I'm sure Knox will get a good talking to from a goalkeeper for losing possession in a dangerous area, but one that's not to trouble goalkeeper Andile Dlamini. Disetso Makubela finds Magia. It's a bit of a hospital pass from Asanda. Rabale hoisting that ball in the air as Amanda Mtandi allows the bounce of the ball to not deceive. She's trying to waltz away and eliminate a couple of players. There's a player that just goes down who's had a tired, who's struggling for the moment. Liana Nampala is one of them, and so is Amukoto Twelikonjele. She's the player that's gone down, Amukoto Twelikonjele. She's flat on the back and looking to receive treatment, summoned from the bench. Now we talk about what? 29 plus 2 goals. That is, in actual fact, 29 plus 3 goals. It takes us to 32 goals in 10 matches. Almost averaging 3 goals per match in this tournament, as the entire bench of Mamelodi Sundowns, Melinda Khadiete, who started in the previous match, she's warming up. Melinda Khadiete, a goal poacher, positioning. She always finds herself in good positions, good finisher of opportunities. Knox. Rabale delivers a teaser, but still coming from deep is Kolosa, hacked away by Jituka. Just struggling to get into some sort of rhythm is Beauties. Ultimately Tolagele just forcing Rabale bundled off the ball, and the referee saying you're gonna have to be stronger than that. Fiola Fillet showing that she too can get stuck into it. Spitfire decides it's gonna be burning out there. She gets the job done, and Tolagele on the other hand, who recovered from a horrible injury to find herself playing football yet again, is not afraid to get stuck in it, showing too much of the ball in that moment. And Ramalepe, a bit of a foul on Felicity Hyukwim, the player who got player of the match. That's Felicity against, in the previous match against Ntopwa. And Boitumelo Rabale was also a recipient of player of the match in the game, as that ball bounces kindly and sets up for Mamelodi Sundowns, who are still hoisted in the Hollywood Bet Super League, even though they are out of action. In second place, TUT, who found themselves on the back foot over the weekend, going down by 3-2. The Hollywood Bet Super League is really hotting up. And also, when you look at the Namibian League, you've got Ongos fighting it with Beauties. So Khadebe shows some skill. Khadebe shows some skill. Kolosa. That's a corner to Beauties. Mamelodi Sundowns rather casual in that particular moment. Kolosa guilty of just overcooking the pass, and that will give a strong finish to the team from Namibia. A rare opportunity for Andile Dlamini to ensure that she keeps a clean sheet. She's got all the organization to do in that defense, and important to get the communication also going. Fiola Fillet, ball in, Andile in the thick of things, but rises highest and collects rather comfortably. Well, with the 3 minutes being added, we've played 1.5 minutes thereof. Amanda Mtandi, referee picking up a bit of a handball in that moment, as Kaijavi Nonjamo another mistake made by Mbane, but quickly recovers and finds Ramalepe looking for the quick return. Knox, who goes down rather easily. There's an opportunity for Beauties. Can they pull one back? Buipilo Libang looking for any available white shirt. Amukoto has Knox coming to track back. Yes, Fiola Fillet with a bit of a back heel, asking much of Felicity, and eventually it goes out for a goal kick. Well, the referee will have a look at her watch, but there's about 30 seconds to play before the ladies going into a break and revisit the plan and listen to the words of wisdom from Coach Leonard Kati. That is for the debutants Beauties. And on the other hand, I'm sure a very much demanding Mr. Zolile Sapula will want more from his players, especially up front. They need to eliminate the offsides that have been played by a team that appeared to be very organized until that defense was bridged. It was an opening goal that was scored by Lebogang Ramalepe, followed by Bambanani Mbane. Brace on the day. That is your player of the match thus far, who's managed to get the ball in the back of the net twice this afternoon and sets Mamelodi Sundowns on an assailant lead in a match that appears to be very one-sided. Well, that's how it ends at the A.W. Miller Stadium. It is Mamelodi Sundowns 3 and Beauties 1. We look at the report card and it tells you another story, that dominance has been Kabuyelo, 5 corners to 1, and with 19 fouls and 50% shot accuracy. Shots on target, 3 of those, 50% return, as we confirm Sundowns in the driving seat. 3-0, and do join us in the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, and Mamelodi Ramagalera, please come through. Somi and Ramagalera. Mr. Mamelodi Ramagalera, come through, guys. We are ready to play for the football.
are with the team that is to beat in Mamelodi Sundowns. Much experience on display, quality players on display, and not to be outdone is the debutants as well, the Beauties. They come into this match after demolishing Ntopwa of Malawi by 3-0. They fell to Zesco by 3-0. Let's have a look at the lineup of Mamelodi Sundowns. Boitumelo Rabale keeps her place. Bambanani Mbane in defense. Tabiseng Magia makes a rare start. Kolosa Biane in the middle of the park. And Lebohang Ramalepe ever present in the right back position. They line up with a 4-3-3 formation. Down at the bottom is Kolosa Biana, the pitbull who's expected to really serve as a protector of the back four. Our officials, it is Chipo Mayimbo of Zimbabwe, Claro Samango of Zimbabwe, Rhoda Montlane of Mozambique, and Deboheleng Sikoto of Lesotho. That's an abundance of experience when you look at the officials that are officiating in this particular match. And the two captains, it is Ramalepe as well as Melissa Matthews that are out to lead their teams. And then we do have an opportunity to get a bird's eye view of everything. And in VAR, it is Enes Gumbo of Malawi. She's supported by Lumbidzai Musawa of Zambia, the 29-year-old who finds herself with the 5th COSAFA tournament. This is the lineup for Beauties. Melissa Matthews, the captain, she remains in goal and has been ever present. Toli Konjele Amukoto, the centre-back who does exceptionally well. You're looking at Rita Williams, the 47-year-old who comes in with an abundance of experience. Nancy Libang, as well as Ndapewa. Those are the lineups. You also are looking at a very straightforward, balanced side in a 4-4-2. Oh, well done as it's kept in play, and then another long, hopeful ball that finds Bambanani Mbane instead. 7 minutes on the clock. Disetso Makubela makes her way back into the side. She's just played one match, and that was the previous match against Zesco. And goalkeeper called upon that ball with the rush of blood to the head. This goes over the bar. Apologies given to her teammates. She knows that should have done better. But let's have a look at this ball yet again from Bane. Try to play it over the top as it finds Tolagele. Keeper was very quick to come out of in and around the big box. It's played short by Beauties, inviting trouble. The high press of Mamelodi Sundowns is one that gives concern to the defense of Beauties. A cross expected, cross delivered. Keeper comes out, two hands. And in that moment, Magia asks, I didn't do anything. What is wrong with the challenge? Well, you'll decide for yourself if you have a look at that in the replay. Magia staying, she's in an offside position in that particular moment, but goes right through, and the goalkeeper got two hands to it. Well, this time around, there is no Green Buffaloes of Zambia. There is no Ongos. There's no UWC. And here's an opportunity for Beauties to play that ball back. Wasting a bit of time is the young Nancy Pupilo. Instead of playing it through, questions been asked about an offside, and acres of that. But again, players need to learn to play according to the referee's whistle. But the referee eventually goes up, the referee's flag rather. So we have a look at that ball picked up, but she was in an onside position, split that defense, and perhaps if they have to have a look at that, it's a chance that they should have better used. Asanda Khadere played it short. Magia whipping it in, looking for a header! Mamelodi Sundowns, Bambanani Mbane registers her name on the score sheet. It's the beginning of the floodgates. Bambanani Bane, a defender of note, hailing out in the Eastern Cape. But here she is in Gauteng doing a job. Unmarked criminal defending by Beauties. That little amount of space given to Mbane, she made good use of it, and the keeper was stranded. 1 goal to the goods, who are almost playing a half ground from the center half. Colossa, oh, delightful ball. Ramalepe, beauty, and Magia makes a hash of it. Slightly overcooked though from Lebogang Ramalepe. She was at full stretch, we can't fault her for effort. Thabiseng Magia needed to try and run from the side, but that was good positioning by Ramalepe and slightly overcooked. Asanda Khadef. Ball delivered, looking for Mandam Tandi. Tolagele on the ball, playing it back. That's another second ball. Offside, yet again. Offside by Thabiseng and co. 20 minutes. Well, that's the moment there, the minute Tolagele touched that ball and then allowed, needs to deliver the ball. Tandi does well to protect it. Ultimately, Asanda, another ball in. Beats everybody, not Ramalepe! Coming from deep, the captain does well and makes sure this time. Lebogang Ramalepe gets onto the score sheet. After 23 minutes, Mamelodi Sundowns are comfortably with a 2-goal cushion. Confirmation of the goal scorer, a captain's goal, and it was played well as Khadebe whipped that ball in delightfully. It missed everybody, but Ramalepe coming from deep, used the left, finished it off with the right. And Beauties, that is the football language, but it's played short. Waitumelo is available, quickly plays a return ball to Knox, try and go down the byline, and looking to thread it between the legs of the goalkeeper, something that is rather difficult, but from a player of Knox's caliber, she'll try at everything. Even if it seems difficult, simpler option would have been just to hook that ball. Magia was lurking, ready to take that. Tandi forced backwards. Khadebe does well. Sends Rabale back into attack. And that was delightful, but again, coming from an offside position is Boitumelo Rabale. There's a good finisher in Magia. As we can see, Magia's in offside position, taking too long to come back. Ready to take that. Tandi forced backwards. Khadebe does well. Sends Rabale back into attack. And that was delightful, but again, coming from an offside position is Boitumelo Rabale. There's a good finisher in Magia. As we can see, Magia's in offside position, taking too long to come back. He's waiting perhaps for the short corner, but Asanda goes route one, ball delivered in the box. Again, Bane! She comes in one more time, unmarked, a brace in this match. Bambanani Bane makes it 3 for Mamelodi Sundowns. Three before the break. And this is really turning out to be a one-sided affair. And this time we get to see a glimpse of a smile. A miss by Rabale, giving the opportunity to Mbane. Had the time, you know, to take on, to keep the ball at the feet, take on a defender, look for the space, and created the Welcome back to the second half of day 5 in a match between Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa and Beauties of Namibia. If you are just joining us, the scoreline reads Sundowns 3 and Beauties 0. The goal scorers, it's a brace by Bambanani Mbane in the 39th minute as well as the 23rd minute, and Lebogang Ramalepe also getting onto the score sheet. Well, the first time that you get defenders running the show in the attack by banging in those goals, a smile on the face of Bambanani Mbane, who understands the assignment. Cool, calm and collected in that defense, leads with excellence and combined with great composure. That is the Bambanani Mbane. On the opposite end, it is the debutants of the tournament, the Beauties of Namibia, that have thwarted Ongos, a team that has been on the rise, that was part of the tournament in the previous edition. But this is the 5th edition, and a change that is notable in the goalkeeping area. Pretty strange, but nevertheless perhaps trying to minimize the damage. So in comes Gwyneth Narcissus and Melissa Matthews having given way. So Gwyneth Narcissus is one of the few players that is yet to get some minutes under the belt, and this being the last game in the group for Beauties. Karabo Makhurbeche comes in for Asanda Khadebe, as well as Kutsopila coming on, and Disetso Makubela's day is done. So Asanda Khadebe and Disetso Makubela give way to a young up-and-coming player in Kutsopila, that is jersey number 5, as well as Karabo Makhurbeche. So it is the Beauties that will get us underway in the white uniform and orange stockings. Mamelodi Sundowns looking to press from the onset and force the errors, but ball picked up immediately by Ramalepe, finding Knox, who's finding the goings tough out on the wing, but Spitfire on the other hand is really enjoying herself in the field. One would have expected Ramalepe to continue giving chase on that particular ball, but again reserving the energy for perhaps the next match, as Sundowns appear to be outright winners of Group A. Zescondola and Topwa are the other 2 teams that complete the 4 teams in Group A. Group B's got 3 teams: Gaborone United, Young Buffaloes, and Kick for Life, who makes their debut in the tournament. Pretty open is Group B, and Group C still got a game to go to see who will be outright winners in that particular group. They've remained focused on the job at hand. Rabale and Knox, they've been given instructions to take the set pieces, and they seem to have some sort of plan every now and then that has not given the desired result, and that particular one was no different. It's Dr. Dares sitting next to a couple of officials that are making this tournament quite a success. Mr. Tim Shongwe of Eswatini. Last touch coming off Beauties, and that will give Sundowns a throw-in, taken quickly by Ramalepe. Under pressure is the Pitbull, coming from an onside position. Would she keep it in play? And that, as speedy as she is, found it very difficult to reach that ball. So goal kick it is. Kolosa brings in Bambanani Bane, looking for the variety of play. Here's a Knox. First touch is good, the second touch is a delivery into the box, and that was pretty close. Keeper will tell you she had that covered. Knox will tell you it was intentional. But be that as it may, Sundowns in the driving seat. A lot of spin on that ball, and the wind also carrying it further and furthest away from the goal mouth. Amanda Mtandi can easily spot her. She's one of two players that enjoys playing with the bandana on the head. Looks like Utuzu Vira. Utuzu Vira is holding her stomach, looking rather uncomfortable. Utuzu Vira coming from the side. She's on a yellow card. Sundowns looking to poke further holes and inflict more misery to a Beauties team that started the tournament with the loss against Zesco, picked up a win against Ntopwa. I call them the 3x3. They lost by 3-0, they won by 3-0. They're on the receiving end of 3-0 from Mamelodi Sundowns. That is a strong challenge from Kutsopila. Free kick to Beauties. Sundowns looking rather organized defensively. They've got about 6 players in that defensive half, and Dlamini also looking, but got to be cautious of that ball. Bounce of the ball, she comes out quickly, she smothers that and can chew off precious seconds, but quick release in finding Boitumelo Rabale, who's under pressure to release that ball. Picked up by Knox, who spends way too much of time in trying to look for players around her and nobody giving her the information, ultimately losing out to Beauties. There's Magia, trying to keep that ball in play. At first attempt she did. Dlamini. Boipelo is good to see that, as much as the scoreline is one that is quite challenging. Fiola Fillet, Boitumelo takes it down on the chest. Here's Knox, just appearing to be all over the park. Picked up, but this time is Chituka. Here's Knox for Mamelodi Sundowns. Plays it with Ramalepe. In between, finding Boitumelo. Knox looking for a runner. She has an option. Mtandi plays it back, looking for Tolagele. Tolagele is forced backwards, but far on the left-hand side is available space for Karabo Makurubechi, who's just come on. Yes, Kutsopila will give chase. Kutso has got a job to do with Boipelo. Wind also playing a role as that ball is held back, as Makurubechi will take it forward. Knox brings in Ramalepe. She has Magia to her left-hand side, or right-hand side rather. Magia definitely looking to register her name in the score sheet. 50 minutes done and dusted. Sundowns in the driving seat. Kaijavi will keep that ball. Free kick to Beauties. Goalkeeper Dlamini just playing with such calm. Makurubechi finds Rabale. Rabale shows a little too much of the ball, but eventually picks it up on the second attempt. Here's Tolagele. A decent ball is expected, and a corner it will be. Pace of the game, certainly one that is not too frightening, as they normally find themselves in the driving seat and having so many opportunities and not being able to convert as many as they are expected. While South Africa, Mamelodi Sundowns representing the South African contingent to the COSAFA. Pretty easy one. Is it a hat-trick for Bambanani Mbane? She'll get to keep the ball after the match, I hope. That is usually customary. Another goal for Bambanani Mbane. She has continued to appear in the right places. It's a hat-trick for Bambanani Mbane, and undoubtedly the top goal scorer of these championships. Ball spins in the air. A header from Bambanani Mbane claims the third goal of the match, and goalkeeper Gwyneth can do nothing about that except pick the ball out of her net. So Sundowns are 4 goals to the goods, courtesy of a hat-trick by Bambanani Mbane. She goes down. She's being helped up to her feet is Bambanani Mbane. Here's the pitbull. That's COSAFA playing the 1-2 with Amanda Mtandi. Well, a number of players that contribute towards the Gladiators, which is the Namibian national team, are part of Beauties, calling the Brave Gladiators. Alzanata Coleman, one of the celebrated women footballers in Namibia, playing a football out of the country. And you look at Namibia, they currently ranked number 123, and that was as at August, I think it was 2025, they were 123, and about 7 players are part of the Brave Gladiators. Great technique for Zanata Coleman. She's definitely a cut above the rest. Namibia was part of South Africa's early days when played out in 2003. Namibia were beaten 13-0 in that fixture. As COSAFA sends that ball forward and says, let's go forward and see if we can try and put another goal through, 5th goal. Remember, in the earlier match, it was an 8-goal thriller between Ntopwa and Zesco, as Tabiseng Magia picks her head up as Knox delivers a ball, but finds a white shirt instead, picked up by Fiona Flair. Mbane. She has Kutsopila alongside her as Amanda Mtandi. There's also Joyce Narasis, Noni Kurisis. Those are some of the national team goalkeepers. And Dapewa Katuta, part of that national team. So is Utuzvira Kairi, is also part of the national team. So changes that may come through. Sundowns at this moment in time have already made 2 changes. Kutsupila and Karabo Makhurubechi, Asanda Khadebe and Tisetso Makubele having being relegated to the stands. They can go and rest. 25 fouls in this match. Quite a high foul return for a match that is pretty dominant by Mamelodi Sundowns. And a number of those fouls for sure, with Mamelodi Sundowns pressing a bit high, forcing the defense of Beauties to commit, but at the same time they too find themselves having to put in some good challenges. Dlamini, who's way out of the box and does that pretty often. Some teams have benefited from her leaving a line as Ramalepe looks to thread through a ball, looking for the energetic Magia. Tried a little bit of creativity, wasn't able to get to the other side of Naupena Katuta. Yes, an attempt. Tola Gala makes it 5. Does the flag go up? Indeed it does. It was a miscue by Nonhlanhla Mthandi initially, and Tolagele was in an offside position according to the assistant referee. You have a look at this. By the time the ball reached her, she was alone, and the fans or the soccer-loving people present here at the AWB are asking for a change. Amukoto Tweli Konjele is the player that comes out, and in comes is Helena. So Tweli Konjele has had a decent day at the office, struggling with the right knee. Melissa Matthews also being substituted, and Gwyneth has conceded 1 goal. Foul on the Mamelodi Sundowns player. Liana Nampala is the player guilty on the far right-hand side, and the referee frantically just raising a flag. It looks like Makhurubechi, who's just come on. She appears to be the player grimacing in pain, and that's the reason why medical team being summoned on. It's like an overstretch, holding the groin area. And, she's quite a tough player, is Makhurubechi, and a strong head on her shoulders. Was busy with her masters at some stage in sciences. That is Makhurubechi. Those are some of the fans, and get to see, wow, the president or he's here to witness his team demolish and being bullish against the others. This is the support you're looking for, not only in the boardroom. Also good to see players like Asarabale, who have been deployed to coaching the development sides. Well, when there's a love for football, there's a love for football. Doesn't matter who it is, under 15, senior, the ladies, they are well looked after. Now this is a real association, not just a tick box exercise. Mamelodi Sundowns have really just integrated the ladies into the system and made sure that they are well looked after, hence the results cut there for everyone to see. Klubi. Well, one is expecting another strong long ball from Beauties, hoping to set Beauties on the away, but it's not to be, as Mamelodi Sundowns playing with the mid block, and at times the high press is just too difficult to contain for Beauties, as two players go down. Kolosa Biana is quick to rise up, and she offers a hand to Felicity to get her up on her feet. As both players just go down in a heap. Knox was there to tidy up. The free kick is given to Beauties. Godfrey Sapula with Agnes Nkosi. Disetso Makubelo, who's had her run. A bit of strength from Bambanani Mbane. Ramalepe putting team in trouble, and Dlamini just hacks that ball away. This will allow the changes to happen. Miss Sauls is on the touchline. Boitumelo Rabale's day is done. Alessandra Mugwara. And Lebogang Ramalepe comes on. Simone Sauls takes her place of Lebogang Ramalepe. Sandra Mugwara will come in, and captain's armband being given to Miss Mbane, the hat-trick hero. Here's Tolagele growing in a stride. Needs to eliminate one or two players. There's nobody in the box as that ball takes a deflection for a corner. With 65 minutes on the clock, the Beauties captain has been peripheral to the defensive side. The attacking side, she's really worked her socks off. Cover defense has been impressive. But, they have an opportunity to now concentrate and see if they can get some clearances out. Maybe push Mamelodi Sundowns out. Second ball dominance. Sundowns at times are doubling up on player, but looking very organized and coordinated. It's the finishing that one would want to see a lot more, as that ball just ricochets off one of the Beauties players, and eventually Sundowns would win it back, and it is Simone Sauls that is given the responsibility to hack that ball away, or to throw it in rather. Kolosa as a goalkeeper to share the ball with if a quick return is played. As Mbane, who's out of position, and he has a chance for Fiola. Ball was picked up yet again by Kolosa as Knox. Sauls getting a good feel of the ball. Simone, her dad is in the stands and watching on. Her aunt is also in the stands. Football loving family that has continued to support this youngster. %70 possession for Sundowns, coming from an onside position. Broke the offside trap. Ball delivered! Should have been the fifth one. Sandra Mugwara wasn't able to connect. Player bullied into a foul, and it is young Abuipelo. So Mamelodi Sundowns have got a free kick. And the foul count continues as Godfrey sharing a word or two with his technical bench. Man who's always loved a sporty. It's a two-man ball. This time Miss Bianab delivers. Ball in the air, another corner that will keep Sundowns dominating in the standard situations. A decent header away by Uduzvira. And that is Rita Williams, 47 years of age. A player that has been part of the very, very first Namibian national team. That is Rita Williams, and continues to contribute immensely to the game as you find her still in the field and contributing as much as a 16-year-old. She's almost to break a record as the oldest woman footballer that I know that is still active in the game. Rita Williams. So Nancy Boipelo. Corner for Sundowns. 10 in total, but 9 in favor of Mamelodi Sundowns. Ball would spin, header away from the captain. Hacked in by Knox, and that ball will not trouble Gwyneth at all. Here's Mugwara forcing the mistakes. That's the high press. Here's Magia. And the referee is not too happy with that challenge of Ntabiseng Magia, giving the free kicks to Beauties. So here's our veteran on the park, Rita Williams. Sundowns will get a goal kick, and so when you look at the number of goals that have been scored, 33 in total. Today alone, we've had 8 goals that were scored in the first match. A demolition of Ntopwa by Zesco Ndola, winning that one by 5 goals to 3. And Mamelodi Sundowns who are leading by 4 goals to 0. Well, the weather has really played its part. Colossa Biana, she's been instrumental, Colossa, since coming back. She has a sister who also plays a football, last time registered on the books of JVW, but has since departed. Player that's on the ground and grimacing in pain is Felicity. She received player of the match, but good to see that the game is really played in good spirits and players showing good sportsmanship. The drums have continued to blare at the A.W. Miller Stadium. UJ is also another stadium, UJ, but that is out in Soweto. That's usually, they call it the home of football, women's football. But, this time around, the tournament being played at the A.W. Muller. So here's a mistake being made in the back and eventually picked up. It's the captain who again finds herself in all sorts of trouble, grimacing in pain. So it looks like we will get a a yellow card for Sandra Mugwara, who's just come on here in the second half. So free kick as a player receives treatment. Well, we have a look at a decent crowd that has turned up for this match. They've continued to sing and try and get Sundowns over the line. Well, the job is already done. And here's Sandra Mugwara. As the music continues to blare, as Sundowns supporters who've come out in their numbers today, they are being spoiled by an avalanche of goals. They want 5, they want 6, they want 7, and Magwara's on the ball, played it back looking for Makurubechi. She can whip the ball in. There's a Tolagele that trickles over the line. Tolagele could be a goal for Makurubechi. Doesn't look like Tolagele touched that ball, but Tolagele will claim it. Let's have a look at that in the replay. Is this Tolagele's ball or is this Makurubechi's ball? It was a ball she cut in, took on defenders, and went through the goalkeeper's legs. You can have a look at it again, as Tolagele seems to have missed that ball and going through the legs of the goalkeeper. It will be interesting to see who that is given to. Well, we'll confirm the goal scorer to you. Is it Tolagele or is it Karabo Makurubechi? Kept in play by Souls. That's Kutsopila. Apologies for that. That's Kutsopila. Karabo Makurubechi's jersey number 3. That's the goal scorer. She came on for Lebogang Ramalepe. Karabo Makurubechi is, in actual fact, she came in for Asanda Khadebe. So she gets given the goal. Tolagele will have to throw some caution. This is now Tolagele. Brilliantly done. Turn and shoot. She eventually gets onto the score sheet. That is Tolagele of the Botswana International. 2 quick goals. Or is it disallowed? Well, we'll have a look at that. We don't know if it's a handball, perhaps. And questions are being asked. And the referee could be referencing to VAR. Is there a check? Well, they are checking this goal to see if it is illegitimate or not. Could Tolagele be denied? And just to confirm that VAR will confirm if this is a goal. Perhaps a use of the hand is one that they are having a look. There's nothing wrong with the strike because she came from deep. Oh, you look at Young Buffaloes in the day 4. Millicent Kukwam of Beauties and Lucia Mozambique of Costa del Sol, as well as Tolagele. They were the leading goal scorers with 2 apiece. Oh, we've got Bombanani Mbane on a hat-trick today, and continues to set the pace and the tone for the goal scorer. As the checking still goes on with our VAR referees. Will the goal stand? Mamelodi Sundowns currently with 5 goals. Karabo Makurubechi registering her name, coming off the bench late in the second half. We are 78 minutes. And the goal is given. The goal is given. So eventually Mamelodi Sundowns then celebrate. And 6-0 is the scoreline. Have a look at this again. There's definitely no offside. Knox coming from an onside position, delivers the ball, and the turn from Tolagele, snapshot, picking a spot and sending keeper the wrong way. There were definitely question marks around the use of the hand in that moment, and clarified, vindicated, and celebrated is Refilwe Tolagele. So 6-0 becomes the highest. 6-0. So it is a clean sweep for Mamelodi Sundowns. $80 minutes, 10 minutes to go. Can Sundowns get another? Look at the pace on the left-hand side by Makurubechi. Tries to keep it in play. Can't blame her for effort, but this is what you want to see, the work ethic coming through. As much as the scoreline is quite an expensive one. It's quite an expensive one. Picked up Chituka. Colosa sends Knox. She's really failed to deliver clean balls through his Knox. Tolagele brings in Knox. Bambanani Mbane can use a keeper if she likes. She does exactly that. 77% possession in favor of Sundowns. Makurubechi picks up Mtandi. Mtandi using her speed to find Colosa Biana. Tolagele asking for the support, but goes down the line to Knox. First time cross, instead finds Ndapena Katuta. Without a doubt, Bambanani Mbane's 3 goals in the game is enough to set her above all. And what a mistake made by the goalkeeper. Is that a goal that will stand? Sandra Maguara, quite audacious with the back heel. That is the 7th goal. She came in from deep unmarked. No one tracking Sandra, and Sandra Maguara gets her goal and registers her name on the Sundowns score sheet. Ball delivered, a miss by the goalkeeper, and Maguara gets her first goal in this tournament. And quick thinking as the keeper makes a hash of it. Well, including the coaches and the technical bench, they loved that one. Got off the bench, went to celebrate that particular goal, and showing how happy they are for Sandra Maguara making her debut at this tournament. As Kolosa Biana is giving way, player to come on is Modikilana Mashiko. Oh, we call her Majaivan. That's Mashiko. She's been given a run, and here's Sandra. Bit of a clipping on Sandra. Gets the free kick, so Mashiko will get a run. She too, another exciting, creative player. Mamelodi Sundowns are making light work of Beauties. Some of the players, some of the teams will be departing tomorrow. But our fixtures for tomorrow come from Group B, which is Gaborone United up against Kick for Life. That is a 12 o'clock kickoff. And Group C is Rental Queens of Zimbabwe. They up against Olympic di Maroni of the Cameroons. That is a Group C encounter tomorrow at 3 p.m. Same place, same time. Do connect with us. Do interact with us as the Women's Championship continues to give us a number of goals, aplenty, and some excitement. So Sundowns really making light work of Beauties. Biggest score so far in the tournament, 7-0. Earlier on the day, Group A has really been a team, a bunch of clubs that have scored a number of goals. Earlier on, it was an 8-goal thriller between Ntopwa and Zesco, which ended 5-3. Was the earlier scoreline, 7-0 in the second game. So on the day alone, wow. It is a matter of one saying 15 goals scored. But the one's got to compliment Beauties for not dropping their heads and continuing to look for some sort of spaces in between Mamelodi Sundowns. But the quality of Sundowns is just unmatched in all departments. Andile Dlamini looking a little bit in distress. Well, she's got to make sure that Ndapena Katuta was stretching her, trying to get that ball in the upright. Sundowns do well when they knock the ball from defense with such comfort and ease. Build up as they make their way forward. They're looking for the killer punch. They're looking to get the 10-goal margin, which will be record-breaking in this tournament. 12 goal attempts to Sundowns, with 7 being on target. What a return. (7-0). Header as Souls. 7 corners, 7 goals. Paramisi Nombolo, a sign of Mamelodi Sundowns. If you know, you know. Dlamini. Dlamini makes a mistake. Still not punished. And I'm sure the coach will have a word on that. He would definitely complain. No nonsense expected from his team. That's just too much of the ball being shown, as Sundowns was given too much of the space in the room and the time on the ball, punishing Beauties, and they too were on the receiving end. Ntopwa received 3-0, Zesco 1-0, Beauties so far 7-0. Ntandi, Majaiva, Souls, so do join us tomorrow for Gaborone United and Kick for Life. Two neighbors, Botswana and Lesotho, Parental Queens of Zimbabwe, up against the Olympic de Moroni of the Comores. The action continues. Then there will be a rest day, and on the 29th it will be winner of Group B up against winner of Group C, and winner of Group A will be up against the second best place winner. So that is Mamelodi Sundowns in match number 14 will play the second best winner. So there is still a position or available. Third change that is being prepared. And Lena Nampula. Here's Sandra. Sandra riding a challenge, laying it back for Tolagele. Knocks. Doesn't get it through. Makurubech is lurking. Here's Amanda Mtandi. Sundowns keep possession. Souls does well. Souls comes to the right-hand side. Majaivan. Mamelodi Sundowns whip it in. Good take by Tolagele. Amanda Mtandi gets it over the bar. Hoping to put on the score sheet. Amanda Mtandi, who's had a wonderful day at the office, is not able to celebrate a goal and get her name on the score sheet. 5 minutes to be added by the referee, that is Mercy Maibo. Hilma is the player, Hilma Kanyama. We can confirm that Ntopwa is one of the first teams to book their plane tickets back to Malawi. They really struggled to match the standard of football. Souls. Fans are calling for some skill. They call it the happy hour. And the last touch coming off Souls, looking for Magia. They want to see their star players keeping possession, showing the Tamayas and the Shivobos. But Fiola is on the ground. We could possibly see a yellow card for Andile Dlamini, which will maybe be unnecessary. No, the referee, it's a drop ball. Long ball looking for Tolagele yet again. If ever there's a person on the park that deserves a goal, it is Ntabiseng Magia. She's worked tirelessly looking for her, asked for the supply, was delivered by Mashiko. There's the hat-trick hero. That's Bambanani Bane. Kutsapila gets a head in. There's Fiola. Looking for Hilma. And that ball goes all the way. Then allow Ms. Dlamini to get us started yet again. Just chewing the clock and 2 minutes 30 being played already of the 5 minutes. An injury that one experienced in the second half, giving the additional 5 minutes, but otherwise it was absolutely fluid from Mamelodi Sundowns. Boipilo. Bane. The last touch coming off Mamelodi Sundowns, not wanting to do anything fancy. Player of the match and deserving is Bambanani Bane, who's taken the captain's armband from Lebogang Ramalepe. Started off as a vice, ends off as the captain. And what an ending to a wonderful display of a defender, showing how and what it is like to get into the right places and getting the returns for her team. That's Bambanani Bane, showing wealth of experience. He's been to World Cups, been to the Olympics. He's played on the CAF Champions League. As Tolagele, Sandra's available with acres of space. It's spotted! Instead, it is the goalkeeper that followed that right up until the end of that. Not sure if Tolagele was trying to find Sandra or trying to get the ball in the back of the net. The referee is quick to blow a whistle. Peter Kutopila. Very businesslike performance. Good returns for Coach Godfrey Sapula, who's really asked for a lot from his players. Wants the clean sheet. There's been no room for Bosija, as referee Mercy Maibo brings an end to an entertaining match, one that displayed an avalanche of goals. The Queen, Miss Rhoda Muraudzi, also part of the technical benches. Agnes, it will be an interesting day at the office, and look at that respect being shown to Rita, 47 years of age, still running with the 17 and 18-year-old players, but much respect given for a player that continues to beat the odds. That is Rita Rihanna Williams. Garaba Mahuruwechi came on, got a goal to her name. Sandra Maguire came off the bench, got a goal to her name. And the hat-trick belongs to Bambanani Bane. Lebogang Ramalepe could not leave the field without a goal, and so did Refilwe Tolagele. High fives and hugs, and good day at the office for Mamelodi Sundowns. Biggest victory of the tournament, 7-0 is what it is. So Sundowns is sending a message pretty clear to the rest of the teams in the tournament that they are the team to beat. So we confirm the scoreline here from A.W. Miller Stadium in Auckland Park, Johannesburg. It is Mamelodi Sundowns 7, Minwe Pezulu, and Beauties 0 of Namibia. We'll have a look at the statistic in a moment or two. There it is, telling the story of 13 goal attempts by Sundowns to 8. Just one shot on target for Beauties, not enough to create any problems. And the foul count was pretty much high, as the ladies went in for a number of tough challenges and dominance in the standard situations. 9-1 in the corners. And if you look at the offside count and you'd ask yourself if only Mamelodi Sundowns held the lines a little bit longer, one could have seen an avalanche of goals. Well, that's how it ends at the A.W. Miller Stadium.
Coach, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. A 7-0 defeat here for your ladies. How are you feeling?
Come again?
Thank you so much for your time. A 7-0 defeat here for your ladies this afternoon. Your impressions of the match?
Very, very bad game that we had today. 7-0 scoreline is not what I expected. Unfortunately, our defense was stretched right at the beginning of the games. And we could not contain their wing backs. If you can recall very well, all the goals that we conceded in the first half, they came from the wing. So our defense was stretched and we totally failed to contain them. But I'm happy with my girls. They did not actually give up, even when it was still 7-0. They kept going. For us, it's a lesson that we are taking home. It's a lesson for us that we'll actually learn and grow and come back again stronger next time. Congratulations to Sundowns. It's actually a big team and they needed the win. Of course, for us, we also needed to win, but unfortunately, we lost the structure of our defense and we could not contain them.
Thank you, Coach. Hard luck today.
Thank you very much.
Beauties Coach Leonard making way for today's winning coach, Coach Godfrey of Mamelodi Sundowns ladies. Coach, a clean sweep of wins for you here this afternoon. Your thoughts on the match? A 7-0 win, announcing yourself early on from the get-go.
Yeah, I think we are very excited that we're able to score goals today. I think we've been saying in the past that we are pleased that we're creating a lot of chances, but the problem becomes the conversion ratio. You know, not that we scored 7 today, but all the matches we've been creating goals. We're really excited that we've also been working on set plays, you know, so that we increase the ways of scoring, not only through open play. I'm really excited that we scored a few goals from set plays here today as well.
Coach, thank you so much for your time and all the best going forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
We don't have time.
cross just overhit slightly.
It's the first time, of course, City have been behind during this campaign. So it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back.
Yeah, the reaction obviously is very strong in a match, any match, isn't it? In a competitive league fixture. We're out of pre-season now and need to show that response.
On the balance of play, I wouldn't suggest we can maybe deserve a lead, but it doesn't matter what's deserved and what's not. We can put the ball in the back of the net. That's all that matters.
Free kick from Spears directly across towards Barton. Goes in towards Wigley. Nicely brought down. Drilled cross now. Jeffries ever so slightly behind the ball. But City looks to go again. Spears now played in. Looks to win the ball here. Bit of contentious call, I think. It's could have gone either way there. Spears seemingly just willing to run around and get goal side.
Looked like a physical battle to me. A little surprised. I would say I'm a little surprised, but with how some fouls have been given, maybe I shouldn't be surprised so far with that. But I think Spears can help himself a little unlucky.
No, I think he's had the right idea there. I don't think at all he's intentionally committed a foul either. Throw in now on this near side again. City with another chance just to restart from the back. Throw for the visitors. Fars, another cross looks to come in. Thomas, however, switched on to this one, managed to just send it out for a corner kick.
Yeah, tenacious there from Thomas just to throw himself in front of the ball. Got a really good block in the end. Because we know what happened from the last cross, so really important for Thomas to just get that in. But another corner for Wigan there, starting to pile up now.
Looks to be an in-swinger. Towards the back post, is lifted down. Hit right towards Jones. It's quick off his line. Pass the board quickly. Wigley, however, not quite able to get a foot to it. That's a good intervention there by Cody Twos inside the area. As O'Brien looks to break away. Finds Wigley on this near side. Throw in one.
Really like that from O'Brien, just a really dominant run out of defence, just to push his team forward. And Wigley and Jeffries a little unlucky not to break away further, but that's what I'm saying, he needs just a bit of oomph from somewhere, and if the defence can give you that, then I'll only give confidence to the midfielders and the attackers.
Yeah, precisely. Of course, centre back running out as he was under that kind of pressure isn't something that you see typically to start a counter attack, but just good example there, as you say, Sean, just lead him from the back. Oh, that's a great ball forwards. Now on the far side, got time just to look up perhaps, drills into the area. It's ball towards Tankovic, but it is cleared out. Now towards the halfway line, coming together between Thomas. Forward again they go. Sam Jones coming off his line. Out of the area just to find Spears now. He's got time but wins the throw in. Jeffries gives the option. Back to Spears and O'Brien in turn. Now Sam Jones again. Ball at his feet. Forwards to Jack Thomas. And Canapat Will Spears now on this near side once again. Seen plenty of the ball so far, Will. Now twos to De Bono.